Today we are going to talk about why money can buy happiness and why money cannot buy happiness. And I'm not trying to people please and agree with everyone here, but both statements are actually true. And I'm going to explain why using a concept from microeconomics called the law of diminishing marginal utility. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Lily Nguyen. The law of diminishing marginal utility says that as consumption of a product or service increases, the additional satisfaction, which is marginal utility, derived from each additional unit decreases. Utility is the degree of satisfaction or pleasure a consumer gets from purchasing something. And marginal utility is the change in satisfaction or pleasure that a consumer gets from each additional unit of a good or service. Marginal utility can be positive, negative, or zero. In simple terms, the more you have of something, the less additional enjoyment you get. I remember when I was in university, I loved micro and macroeconomics. And my instructor was so upset with Diet Coke. So we are going to use the same example because it's actually perfect, okay? Now, let's imagine this. You are doing gardening work outside at your client's house. It's summer, it's so fucking hot. It's like 37 degrees Celsius, which is 99 Fahrenheit. You forgot your water. You have been working outside non-stop for like 6 or 7 hours straight. You are exhausted, sweaty, dry, and thirsty as hell. You feel like you are dying. Then your client comes home and offers you a cold Diet Coke. Not just any drink, it's your favorite drink. Now, listen carefully. It doesn't matter if you have had Diet Coke 1,000 times before. In that moment, the first can feels like it just saved your fucking life. You open it. The coldness hits your mouth and then it hits your throat. You literally feel like you are reborn. Your satisfaction is through the roof. Your client offers you a second Diet Coke. Would you still enjoy it? Yeah, of course. But it's not gonna hit the same as the first one. And maybe they give you the third, the fourth, or sixth, or seventh. At some point, you are gonna feel sick as fuck. Now, the thing that once gave you pleasure starts becoming punishment. That's the law of diminishing marginal utility. On the x-axis, we have input Diet Coke, and on the y-axis, we have output satisfaction. The more Diet Coke you consume, the less satisfaction each additional can gives you, until eventually your satisfaction even declines. You want to throw up. Don't give me more Diet Coke, stop. Now, let's zoom out and talk about money and happiness. Why do so many people say money can buy happiness? And I need money to be happy. They are not wrong. Human beings have survival needs. If you have ever lived paycheck to paycheck, constantly stressed about rent, trying to figure out how to put food on the table for your children, worried about gas money, worried about bills, you know how mentally exhausting that shit is. Because you are living in survival mode. And I have actually lived both sides of this. At one point in my life, I had comfortable money. Not rich, but enough where I didn't stress about survival. Back then, I used to say, money isn't that important. It's so easy to say when your nervous system feels safe and doesn't have to worry about money. Then life happened. I wasted money, I lost money, I went through periods where I have so much stress and anxiety paying rent and bills. And that's when I really understood why people say money buys happiness. Because when you are in survival mode, you don't care about becoming the smartest, the most evolved, conscious human being on earth. You care about having food in your fridge. You care about keeping a roof over your head. You care about surviving. So yes, money absolutely can buy happiness to a certain extent because it buys safety, security, comfort, healthcare, freedom, and relief from stress. And that matters. Now, let's move to the next stage. Let's say you finally figure life out financially, right? Bills are paid. You are comfortable. You are not constantly panicking anymore. Now money gives you more comfort and convenience. You can buy groceries without checking prices. You can go to any restaurant you want. You can buy gifts for people you love. You can travel. You can enjoy life more. And yes, money still brings you happiness, but not at the same intensity as before. The first time you escape survival mode, that happiness hits really hard. But eventually your nervous system adapts. Now let's go even further. Let's say now you are wealthy or even super wealthy. You can buy any luxury bags, luxury cars, 5-star vacations, private memberships, status, power, fame, and eventually you ask yourself, why the fuck do I still feel empty? Why? Because now you have reached that point where increasing money no longer creates the same emotional return. The marginal happiness goes down, declines. The first time you escape survival mode feels like life-changing. But eventually, your nervous system adapts. Now you can buy more and more things, but each additional purchase gives you less emotional satisfaction than before. That's why you see wealthy people, billionaires, famous people still depressed, addicted, anxious, lonely, suicidal, and disconnected. Not all of them, but many of them. Because money solves material problems, but it does not ultimately solve existential problems. It cannot ultimately give you purpose, inner peace, meaning, healthy relationships, self-worth, or emotional fulfillment or contentment. Because you are not just the body itself, you are actually the soul. And your soul wants meaning, your soul wants purpose. So if you expect money to fill every emotional and spiritual void inside yourself, you are putting impossible pressure on money to do something it was never designed to do. And I think both sides of the internet oversimplify this conversation. Some people romanticize poverty and say money is evil because rich people are evil and corrupted. That's bullshit. If you have that limiting belief, you need to heal your relationship with money. I used to have limiting beliefs around money too. But after doing a lot of inner work, I realized money itself is not good or bad. Money is a tool, a neutral form of energy. It depends on who is using it and what they are using it for. There are a lot of good, rich people, wealthy people. Because at the end of the day, money is not one abusing people. Human beings abuse money and then blame money itself. So I just want to be clear. I love and appreciate money. But then on the other side, okay, some people worship money like it's the ultimate source of happiness. And that's also bullshit. Money is a tool, an important tool, a vehicle that can give you comfort and help get you to the destination you want. But if you expect money to give you infinite happiness, you are gonna be disappointed very quickly because the emotional return eventually starts declining. That's the law of diminishing marginal utility. And I think understanding this creates a so much healthier relationship with money, not demonizing it, but also not putting it on a pedestal, just seeing it for what it actually is. And next, a lot of us were conditioned since our childhood. We were rewarded when we achieved something, praised when we performed well, or we got punished when we didn't follow rules or directions. Do this and you are a good girl. Do this and you are a good boy. Get good grades and you will deserve love. Achieve this and you will finally be successful and loved. Behave and I will buy you candy or ice cream. So a lot of people unconsciously grow up believing I can only feel happy, worthy, or enough after I achieve something externally. So I'm telling you, now it's time to reparent yourself, to rewire your brain, to remove your limiting beliefs. Because if your happiness always depends on achievement, validation, money, status, relationships, or external rewards, you will always be emotionally controlled by the outside world. At the end of the day, real happiness is inner state of mind. Happiness is a decision, and you got to make that decision to be happy without constantly attaching it to conditions. To be happy here and now, even when you are facing challenges. To accept where you are while still striving for growth. And I'm not saying this just as theory. I mean every word I say. And I actually train myself to be happy without conditions. Because if you constantly depend on external things to finally make you happy, you will spend your whole life chasing the next thing, thinking, maybe this will finally be enough. Maybe I will finally be happy when I get that. Like a dog chasing its own tail. And when you finally get that thing, you will want something else because it will never be enough for the ego. So, really, how much is enough? Answer that question for yourself. I cannot answer that question for you. If this video resonated with you, like and subscribe. It really helps my channel reach more people who need this kind of content. Thank you for listening and thank you for being here. And I'll see you next time.